Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Felice from CZT Sabine Abel. Okay, this is a neat dot grid pattern, and you know what I'm feeling like? No, you don't, because I didn't tell you. I'm feeling like four corner dots and a border. So I'm picturing this would be a great, I'm going to move something really quick, a great fill in tangle. I am going to do, just a 9 dot grid. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is a dot grid, meaning we're just putting dots in. You want to keep a little distance from the edges. And I always like to do this, kind of start in the middle and then work my way out in the hopes that my grid is close to being um symmetrical and in line and stuff. And and for the most part it is, and if it's not, we don't worry about it. So this is Zentangle and there's no such thing as a mistake. All right, once you have your dot grid in place, then and I'm going to work in columns or rows first, whichever way you want to go. So I'm going to take this first column and from the top dot going down one, I'm just going to do a little straight line out about halfway and then back in to that dot. And continuing. This is the micron that I have. Well, it's doing pretty good. I must have used it too hard like this, and it is like a chisel tip, and so every once in a while it turns. Ugh. All right, then next column, same idea, and you don't have to go out too far, just a little bit. Then you can go the other way. And what I try to do when I'm going the other way is sort of try to line up, uh, the point where from where the peak. We'll just call it that. Try to. Sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it does. Going. This is me talking to me. Going slow and being careful would be a brilliant idea. All right, then we're going to do the top. Same idea. You can turn your tile though, if you wish, and do the same thing over again. I think on my step out, I divided these two steps, and on Sabine's, they are together on step 4. Either way, I don't know. Sometimes I feel the need to do stuff like that, but still going one step at a time and just turning the tile. And actually, honestly, I could have turned the tile for that, so that way I'm doing the same stroke in the same direction. I probably should have, but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. See, because then if I turn it all the way this way, same thing. Because your pen kind of gets your pen slash your hand slash your mind kind of gets in that groove, and that is part of the that's the repetition that allows us to have the meditative benefit or mindfulness benefit, whichever direction you're headed in with that. It helps. Now, next step is inside these interesting little star-ish shapes. We're gonna aura those, and I tell you, sometimes it takes a little extra concentration on my side, but there we go. I haven't decided quite yet if I like doing it the way I'm doing it, which is taking each section. Actually, this is kind of working well. Or doing it somewhat like in a stroke. So going here and then up. No, I don't like that at all. It's not comfortable. I did that when I was playing with it, and it's like, oh, well, that's kind of nice. Maybe it was just when my lines weren't as nice as these ones are, and these ones look kind of interesting. All right. Then, okay, there we go. Next, we're going to put orbs in all of these open spaces that we have. Now, you know what? Let me just peek here because I didn't. I like went, oh, step out and focused on that. It's like, oh, why not scroll down and see what else there is? Sometimes I just get a little too anxious. And I was right. So this is kind of the decorating phase. Although Sabine does have orbs throughout. So let's just do that. And so this, I'm touching the top. I'm starting in the center first and then doing the outer ones. And this, it's like you want picture a bubble and or become one with the bubble. And where, you can only go so far into the crevices. And so that's how I like to think of it. If you've ever done the Tangle and Zeppel, and I know I have a video. Actually, that was the first, and thanks to Tanya. Tanya, if you ever watch these, it's been a long time, and I should pop you a note because that kind of started my brain down this Quickie path because I was trying to explain something on Facebook, and it might have been on Messenger, and it might have just been in a on a post or something, and I'm like, well, just hold on a minute, and so I did a Quickie video, and then I thought, well, that was a cool idea. I should do these more often. And there we have it, 600 and some videos later. But the and Zeppel is like that's one of the things that we I use to visualize doing that is because now they're odd shapes, but it's the same idea of just trying to pretend it's a bubble and it can only fit in to crevices so far. So in all of these little angles, then it's not going to fit in, and you're going to have these little gaps, and it's okay. All right, then speaking of those little gaps, now looking at Sabine's or Sabine. Oh, apologize if I've got that wrong. I think it's Sabine. At the sample, you can do a couple things, and so do take a look at the link in where it says for more inspiration to see that because you can decorate this really however you want to. And I noticed that there's one that has just lines on the inside and they left the outside open. But I am going to, because I really like the look of it, fill in all of these little crevices. But that's up to you. So you take a look and then you can decorate it really however you want. One thing that I look for first when I'm decorating is if something is just that I'm not happy with. And usually when it happens, then I go, okay, mental note, go check it later. So when I'm all done tangling, then I'll go back and say, okay, what does this need to make me happy? And sometimes it might be just shading or filling in. So that's where I determine what I'm gonna do. What I'm gonna do with that? Because honestly, sometimes you can't even find it, which means you don't even need to worry about it. Because if you have trouble finding it yourself, it's no one's gonna know. And again, no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle. This is all about you. Do it for you. It's not about making some masterpiece every time. You just want to make you smile, and maybe it's just getting to using it as a meditative or mindful exercise, and getting, just getting to that point, and having something that you can focus on, where my mind just doesn't shut up long enough when whenever I've tried that, or it just, I start making lists in my head and thinking about other things. It's like, okay, this is defeating the purpose. Where with Zentangle, you're focused on just this, and you're focused on your pen, and the more you can slow down, the better. And it's really cool. Now, some shading. I'm just going to put some on the inside of these star-like things. Although, here's what I'm going to do. I'm thinking, I kind of like that with the, gosh, I don't want it to color it all the way in either. That one got a little heavy. When you're working small, you have to be careful, because for the shading to be anything other than filling in, you really need to have some of the natural tile color left. And granted, you could go back with a jelly roll or something and do that. But I'm gonna, let's see. Let's do this. We'll just do like straight lines. Oh, I should start here. And I'm going real light with the pen, so that way, if it looks a little wonky, it's okay. It makes it look sketchy is the word that I've come up with before. Yeah, like that. And then too, you can we'll still do a little shading. I should use what's left on the tortillon. Ooh, but let's do this. I'm just doing the top and the bottom. That looks neat. Yeah. And then, of course, I'm just using what's left on the tortillon. Add a little graphite to, I'm just doing to one side of the flaps, of the orbs. But that is a great opportunity right there, all of the orbs, to do some fancy stuff if you like. Yeah, it helps, adds dimension. It's neat. Let me dim that a little bit. Oops. That helps a little bit. It's super bright. All right. Neat Tangle. Neat. There's one called, let me look at it, Diablo, that looked like it was similar. And it is sort of. This was just the beginning parts of it, but different enough. So, neat. If you enjoyed this, and I hope you did, I would love to have you click like. Feel free to comment. And if you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you subscribe to the channel. In the description section, you will find links to the step outs. Below that, ways to connect with me if you wish. I do have a link to my website and to our fabulous, fantastic Facebook community. And if you want to tangle with some other, or just get to know some Zentangle friends, we would love to have you join us. Just as a warning, I have 2 required questions for entrance into the group, so you have to answer those and answer them correctly. So, but would love to have you join us. I do classes also almost twice weekly. A lot of them are free. I do have a couple that are paid, so that I can keep the lights on, because that's a good thing, and keep myself in pens and whatnot. Also, try it out for free if you're interested in online classes. Try us out for free. And if you like it enough, make sure to check out, and you think you'd want to pay for a class, if you think you might want to do them monthly, or at least have access to them, check out the Tangle Addicts Membership Club, because it's a good deal. All right, with that, thanks so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.